Oh, what a nice feeling it is to do a stream or a podcast where the result is a win. February the 5th was the last time we got to enjoy ourselves like we will tonight. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds.
Yes.
Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're well. Welcome to the party stream. Let's get the party atmosphere going. I don't know where Ant keeps disappearing. I really don't. Guys and girls, we have good news. We're not a minute late. You guys know that Ant has to have his makeup done and he has to make the dramatic end. There he is. There he
He's
is.
obviously still not had it done.
And how's the makeup lady? Was she well?
Oh dear.
I give up. I give up. Let's say hi to the guys in the chat. Matty's in the chat. Not so grumpy. It's happy Reds today. It is, of course, it's Ant. It's always Ant. Good to see you, Visual. Good to see you, Mark. Good to see you, Jolly Ollie. Leo's already in the party mood. Pat, how you doing, Pat? Keith, how are ya? Poe the Panda, how are ya? Evening, Marcus. Hope you're well. Bobby the Legend, Postal Celebrator. Marcus, good to see you. Big Mark, good to see you. Sly, good to see you. Okay, now he's not doing it on purpose. Now Ant really does have a problem. He can't be, surely. Love you too, Chuck. Hope you're well. Kev, good to see you. All the hellos are coming in. Congratulations again to Rachel, who won the FFTV mug.
Yeah, well done, Rachel.
That'll be coming out to you very, very shortly. Georges, everyone else, good to see you, Dean. Just get your hellos and get the party atmosphere started. Let's get into this, guys, because we are happy. Happy chappies or happy clappies, or what are we today?
Happy clappy.
I'll tell you what, Dino, that bottle you soaked on your face, which literally shocked me when you did it. I was like, what is the matter with that? It seemed to work. So now you've got to do the same thing every single match. I haven't had a shower, I haven't got changed, and I don't plan on it until Saturday evening. At the very least, if we win again on Saturday, nothing's changing. So for me, nothing changes, Ethan. Literally nothing changes. Exactly. But let's start with Ez. You're at the game yesterday. Your halftime report was quite interesting because you weren't too happy with the first half performance. And then obviously you were happy, chappy, clappy at the end of the game. So what happened? What happened, Bled? And Chuck, thank you for the 270.
Hey, thanks, Mark.
Great to see you all after in. Great to see you here as well, Chuck. Well, out in Australia. Yeah, go on, talk us through it, mate, because it was pivotal around the Loddy situation, wasn't it?
I 100% agree. That goal changed everything from my point of view. And I know a few people are doubting this, but certainly where I was sat in the Trent end, they were all fed up. We're all ready to boo at halftime. But even saying we're going to boo them at halftime, it's like, I would never go that far and I'll contest over and over again. I don't think that's a way to do anything. But each to their own, and I would have understood it because I thought our play in the first half was really poor. I thought we gave them way too much respect, showed them way too much respect. They've got fantastic ball players, and if you're going to let them play, it's not. I think what we were looking to do, or what Steve Cooper was looking to do, was the same game plan at their place earlier on in the season, where we sat back and let them come at us, and they couldn't get through. We couldn't break through, but they've got better players now, and I feel we were playing into their trap, and they had their chances at first half as well. And I was just disappointed with how we couldn't hold on to the ball again, and we couldn't string a couple of passes together.
Well, let's pause it there, Ez, because I don't want to move into the second half yet. I'm interested from Dino's perspective, looking at it literally the opposite side of the City ground, Dino. Were you seeing it the same way for that first half? Or is it kind of a clouded misjudgment now?
No, it was just exactly what Ez said. You know, we were in the Bridgeford end, and obviously Forest were kicking towards the Bridgeford end. So we saw very little of the first half because it was all at the other end. Other than Peno and Jono's attack and a Danilo shot, it was quite a poor first half performance. I mean, I had my head in my hands at some point during that first half, just thinking, this is so negative. This is just... In fact, I said to Owen, my son, at half time, I said, I can't think of any more clubs that make football look so difficult than Forest.
See, I kind of disagree with both of
my
you.
first half
I
opinion.
disagree with both of you. Firstly, Mark, thank you so much for the £2. Put this towards the coach to coach as a shooting.
It was fine.
He got it in there in the end, mate. We still had to cut it.
What you couldn't tell was it was about 40 yards out, and I had some obstructions as well. There was a rocking horse. There was a octopus peg holder. I didn't make it easy for myself. So guys, just show me a bit of compassion, mate. Don't make it easy for myself.
Thank you so much for the £2, Mark. Really do appreciate it. Look, I'm going to tell you guys, like, you know, none of us are fans of low block. Yeah, none of us. But I kind of knew that's what we were going to get, that we were going to get that first half. And I kind of think it was okay, because if we got into halftime at 0-0, like with Liverpool, with Manchester United, with all those other teams, they do have an attacking threat. But you guys know how I think about Danny Welcrap, and if whoever's playing in front of him is obviously even worse. I never felt like Brighton had that killer instinct attacker, that if we did get to 0-0, for me, the tactics Cooper was looking to do is what we said before the match: get it into halftime 0-0 or thereabouts, as in level, and then at the 70th minute look to change something to impact the game, because everyone and their dog seemed to think that Brighton would get tired because they'd played extra time in the FA Cup.
And
you gotta give him credit. It did play out that way. So were we being too impatient? Or had Lodi not scored his wonder assist where he purposely aimed for the double ricochet, would things, do you think, have played out different? We'll never know, and it's the butterfly effect. But
yeah, you won't know, but the mood would have been different, definitely. I think we gave us...
Yeah.
We wouldn't have been clapped off at half-time, I'll tell you that much, 100%. Whether it'd been boos or not, we wouldn't have been clapped off at half-time.
Yeah, they were clapped off, though, weren't they, at half-time?
Yeah, they were. And I think that goal, like I said, I think it's probably certainly made a difference in the game, and maybe it's made a difference in the season. You never know. Let's hope.
It was huge, wasn't it?
It was a massive goal.
Were you guys feeling in the stadium? Because, like, in the watch long, obviously it's slightly different. But when Jono missed the penalty, and then when Navas parries another one into the 6-yard box, are you there thinking, you're looking at it thinking, this is going to be another Forest one? Was the mood like that at all? That's how I was feeling before Lodi did his magic.
Exactly what you've just said there, because when the penalty was saved, I looked round at the guys I was sat with, and we all said that's our season in a nutshell. That few minutes just then, we got the penalty, but it was a perfect height for a goalkeeper to save. He hit it hard enough, but I've got to get it high in the corner or low along the ground. But it was just perfect height for a goalkeeper to save. And it kind of summed up our season. And the heads went down from my point of view, people around me. And then when the goal goes in, what I did notice is, initially the players' heads did go down, but I saw them raise them quite quickly. So I did see a difference there, but I hadn't seen in previous home games where we have conceded goals. I saw a bit more spark still in there. And no, I'll go back to the goal was crucial at half-time, just before half-time. Thank you.
Just very quickly, let me just interrupt you for a second. Big shout out to Matt SB with the 199. What a result. What a result. Guys, you know who Matt SB is. Please make sure you subscribe to the legend. Hopefully you'll be joining us next season, Matt. Coventry can still make it, I think, into the playoffs, yeah? And we won't be joining you, if that makes sense. So, heads up on that one. And Will, thank you so much for the £2. Could have been 2-1 up after 20-odd minutes. Yeah, we could have. I mean, it's all ifs and buts, isn't it? If, but, maybe. Is he back? Hey, and...
Yep.
With this official FFTV mug, absolutely love it. Sorry, Eds, carry on. I interrupted you.
On that comment, we certainly had the chances in that first half. I felt Brandon's was probably the best, and you got to hit the target. That's the only criticism I really have of him. He's got to hit the target.
One where he's through 1-on-1.
Yeah, where he's through 1-on-1. He's got to hit the target there. Danilo, again, I thought was fabulous. I think that, without doubt, I think we'll all agree that was his best performance. And he was non-stop. And he did set the tempo, and that's what we need. So we've needed somebody like that. We've missed Yatesy without a doubt this season, but we've not had. You seem to have anybody else in that middle three or middle two, whatever we decide to play, that's willing to come out with the ball and play the difficult passes, because everything was everything we look for is the most simple pass you can possibly want, and nobody's going to stay there, hold their position, and wait for you to play it to them. But he offered some movement. Mangala, I thought, also played really well, and them two worked well together. But his performance, helping the ball through to Jono as well, because Jono was a lot more central than we've seen him. He wasn't wide out on the right at all. And that first half, he had his chances. And you got to look at a couple of games this season where if we'd taken our chances, we're talking a different game altogether. But
Yeah.
again, that's the frustration. The frustration, you miss your penalty and then you don't take your chances when you do get them. So that's what I think was probably led to the all-round atmosphere. The atmosphere was still great. I mean, there wasn't as many Cooper songs being chanted, but certainly the Forest and Magic on and off the pitch. That second half really got the players up, and I think that made a massive difference in the game, especially after the injury to Nico Williams. I think the fans really got behind the players at that time.
Yeah, we'll come on the second half because so much good stuff to talk about in the second half. But bless him, man. Yeah, you didn't make it to the second half, did you?
No, after about.
Firstly, there's things that are way more important than football. I've had so many comments I've read through today on the vlog, on the other videos, asking, how is our beloved Forest Ant? So can you please give your undying, what's the word I'm looking for? Your fans, your passionate fans, yeah. Can you give them the latest update on the saga that is Ant's health right now, please?
Yeah.
But before you do, Rachel, thank you so much for the 199. Fantastic channel. Keep up the work, everyone. Thank you so much, Rachel. You're way too generous. Really do appreciate it. And there's confirmation of Matt's 199, the legend. And we can't build it up any longer. We need to know, how is our beloved Forest Ant?
I suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome, so it comes and goes. Sometimes I'm bad, sometimes I'm okay. This last week or two, I've not been very good. And yesterday, I shouldn't have really gone to the game. I mean, I felt awful, but I wanted to go. I was determined, so I went. And I tried to stay, but after about 40 minutes, I had to give up and leave. And it's funny enough, as I was walking back to my car, I heard the roar, and I heard the announcement, and so that cheered me up a little bit. And I'm not feeling great right now. I mean, I don't know if I'll last the whole stream, but I'll give it a go.
I'm glad you're a bit better, but do you think it's a little coincidental that you were there for the last 10 games? We won nothing. You were there yesterday for 40 minutes. We were losing. You leave 2 minutes later.
I'd like to think that I had that
the game
much
turns on its head.
I'd like to think I had that much influence on a game of football, but I really don't think I do.
I'm starting to think you do, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. If anyone admin from Forest are watching, just send me a WhatsApp. I'll give you his membership number. You can tear it up. We no longer want Forest and anywhere near the city ground. Can we have a restraining order? Just stay away, Ant. Just stay away. No, but joking aside, you're not staying on here all night because we want you to rest up. Yeah, we'd rather miss out on you on one night than for ages. And Jojo saying to you, and she's had CFS as well for 20 years. Big love to you. So this is the thing. This is a community here, man. This is a community. So it's good to know. I can see him tearing up. He's reading the messages. You lot are you're making the big man go all soft, right? So stop it. Start abusing him instead. It's he prefers that.
Yeah, it just feels wrong.
I'll be back. Like I say, it comes and goes. I'll be all right again in a bit, hopefully.
He will. He's just milking it for the crowd, man. He wants another mug. That's what he wants. No, but joke is like, it's bad if Ant missed beat the drop. It's like his favorite stream of the week, man, and he missed it. We're all going to worry if you miss it next weekend after Forest have had a win. Anyway, it's good to have you back, Ant. But give us your quick 40 minutes that you saw. Obviously, you can't be too conclusive because you only saw 40 minutes.
I saw the second half on the TV.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But being down there, funnily enough, my one abiding memory is where I was sat in Q Block in the exec stand. I'm like level with the penalty.
I love that he calls it the exec stand. He just
I
can't make
still do.
himself
I
sound important.
I can't get it in my head. I'm about level with the penalty box, the edge of the Trent End penalty box, and there's one bit where Mitoma took the ball and fuck me, he just went, and you could see the whole Forest defence running back, and he just flew past them. He got to the byline, crossed it, and they should have scored from it. Really,
What a save that was with Navas, wasn't it?
Yeah, when he pulled it back, yeah.
But it's a long time since I've seen a player as quick as that. Honestly, it was like watching a race, a horse race, and one horse just going miles ahead of the others. You know, it was incredible.
I'll tell you what, it did surprise me because he left Felipe in the dust. He left Aurier in the dust, didn't he? And he got in behind him, and you're like, I never had him pegged down as a nippy player.
No, that's not what I thought of him as. I thought he was a tricky winger, but
yeah, especially with the ball at his feet, he was fantastic.
Yeah, it was outrageous. Yeah. That was.
But then you went home.
That was my highlight. I mean,
That's your
in our first half, they were passing the ball. You could see they were a good side. They were passing the ball about. We couldn't get near them, to be honest. We couldn't get near them in that first half.
It was worrying. I get what Ez was saying as well. Dino, from your perspective, the first half, you said you felt it was quite similar to what Ez did. Where do you feel? Newcastle have scored again. Fantastic. Let's go.
One white telly. Yeah, just gone in, header. Just gone in.
That's why you need Surfshark and 83% off. The code is in the description. Or do
I've had Surfshark for a long time. It's brilliant.
Link in the description.
Or !VPN in the chat. Click on that link. 83% off. Dino, give us your perspective on the first half. Are you more what I saw, that you could kind of see Cooper's plan, or was it getting frustrating from the Bridgeford end where you were?
Frustrated with Cooper's plan, I think, is the long and the short of it. When you have to win and you see us low blocking so deep, it's unbelievable. And you could see from the very kickoff that we were just not tackling them anywhere near the halfway line. We just waited till they come into us a bit more. And at the end of the day, it worked. And we had low possession again. And you know how I feel about that, but it worked. But it ain't going to work over a 38-game season, mate. That's my comment. So the first half for me...
All right, can I argue back something at you, Dino?
Bridgeford end's a little bit different. You know, they're a bit more like hardcore there. They're like the A block. So they keep on believing, and there was still at half time there was a few murmurs, but they were still really thinking that they could turn it around second half, as did I. I thought we couldn't have another half like that. Plus we had two great chances with Jono, obviously the penalty and when he was put through, which he should have scored, and he knows that. So
can I ask you one question though? Can I ask you one question? Yeah. In regards to the low block, I've got a late Eid Mubarak to you as well, Fancam. I've just got I feel that it changed when Niakate got injured. I felt, not because I thought Worrell was really good yesterday, by the way.
Yeah,
I just felt when he got introduced into the team, that was the change. Maybe because because Worrell was playing on the left side, which really threw me. Like, I thought him and Felipe would switch over because Felipe can play across it and he would go to the right. But I felt that was the stage there where Niakate went off injured, that we started to drop our line back further and further. And that was asking for trouble because we only had two in the midfield and they started to get overrun because they were almost playing, on RD.
Yeah, I disagree a bit. I think we were generally low all that first half. And the thing that drives me mad about Forest, and I will come on to the second half because I don't want to be Mr. Negative.
Oh, we are, yeah.
Dire. It was dire. But, when the mood changed at half time, so I don't know what Cooper said, whether any of the players stepped up and said something, or whether Marinakis jumped in. I don't know, but something was definitely said at half time. Because the mood completely changed second half, completely changed, and they were on the front foot. They'd pushed up another 10 yards, and they were right on their feet all the time, attacking. But it's a shame that we have to go a goal down for that to happen.
Wolverine. Yeah, I get that. I get what you're saying.
Same thing.
I get what you're saying there, but
I do have to say you do have to give some praise to the opposition. I thought they were really good, and there were times, as I say, when we just couldn't get near them. I mean, I do agree that we were low blocking. I do agree with that, but nevertheless, their passing was superb.
Yes and no. I know what you mean, but their passing was very simple. They passed
was
to a player, they moved. They passed to that player.
It was. Yeah,
it wasn't anything spectacular like 45-yard balls, right? You know, and trap it. It was simple football.
Yeah, it was.
It was simple football
that you see at non-league level.
It was a movement of the ball that made the difference. If you had a look, if you watched it from where I was, their movement was fantastic. They were moving, they were looking for the ball. Our midfield, again, is just far too static at times. Don't get me wrong, it changed second half, and it changed for various reasons, but fantastic. Their movement was what made it look easy for them, because they were always in space. Their players were always in space.
And that's such a simple part of football, Les.
Exactly.
If you've ever played,
they made it look that way. But just to go back to when Worrell came on, initially he was the right side. And they'd taken Ore to the left side, and then they flipped it over after a few minutes. But initially, he was brought on the right side. I kind of think he works better. I remember when we didn't have a left footer, it was him and what was our last Figueiredo, and he'd always play on the left side of the two. And I think in the back line, if you've got another right-sided player, he's better on the left side of the 2 or 3, and it seemed to work better. I think he had one of his better games yesterday, no doubt about it. But we lost.
I'd go as far to say his best game.
Yeah, but we lost Niakate pretty early on, you know. And so we had to live with that for the majority of the first half. But yeah, I'll go back to it was their movement that made them look far superior on the ball yesterday. And that's what cost us.
You're definitely right what you're saying in the low block. We weren't pressing in the first half at all. But come the second half, do you think the change... I personally think there was 2 changes. The Lodi goal, I'm giving it to Lodi because he meant it, right? I felt that gave us some momentum going into the halftime interval. It couldn't have come at a better time. And I don't want this to sound horrible, but the big change for me was Nico Williams getting injured. Even though he was playing well, the change in shape putting us into a 4-3-3 inadvertently, I thought, opened us up. Kouyaté, I thought, was brilliant in midfield. And he released Danilo and Mangala to, pepper up the pitch a bit. And that's what Danilo did. That's what I think the change was. What do you reckon, Ant?
Yeah, I agree. It can be one of those things. It happened to Bobby Robson in the 1990 World Cup, where something happens that forces you into a change of personnel or a change of system. And all of a sudden, you've come across something that works, and you can use that going forward. And that's what I hope we were going to do. Nico going off. I mean, his last couple of games, he's shown what a player he can be as a wing back. Which is what his position is.
I've turned off the sound thing, by the way, and for your pleasure. So, Vic, thank you so much for the £3 quid for every goal we score until the end of the season. Vic broke by the end of the season. Have the faith, man. Fantastic. Fantastic.
What that performance, second half performance, what that result has done is obviously given the fan base and hopefully the team that much more confidence. I mean, you look at the table now, and it's 3 points, but what a difference it makes getting out of that relegation zone. It's fantastic. It makes us all believe again. I mean, I've always believed, but I was kind of getting a little bit worried. But yeah, I think it's going to give everybody a lift, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Can we just touch on Navas just to finish off the first half before we go into full happy clappy mode, right? Where are you guys on Navas? Because I thought yesterday he was the best keeper in the world and the worst keeper in the world. I don't know who wants to take it, but who wants to talk about Navas?
When he parried that out again, I was fucking furious. I stood up and I said, "Mr. Parryman," I mean, I don't get it.
Did he look around when you said that?
Sorry?
Did he look around when you said that?
He did. He apologised to me, yeah. I don't get it. A supposedly class goalkeeper like that making that elementary mistake time and time again. But then he pulls out fantastic saves. But I've always said a goalkeeper shouldn't be judged on how great his saves are, because all goalkeepers should be good shot stoppers. It's how many mistakes they make, and he's making too many.
Yeah.
He's parried so many out. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But if he could just fix that and parry it round,
he's a bit old in the
tooth. He'd be what a goalkeeper, because his saves
His reflexes are ridiculous.
Good saves in the first half that was amazing. It's just so brilliant shot stopping.
Yeah.
Because it was his goal kick. It was his goal kick that led to their chance, wasn't it? He had
goal kicking and the parry.
He shanked. We're talking about shanking shots and getting the yips the other day playing golf, but he shanked that one, and it fell straight into their path. They were overloaded on our left-hand side, and that's where the chance came. But the initial shot wasn't, wasn't blood and thunder shot. He should have held on to that for me. And if you are going to palm around, you got to have softer hands and get it around the post rather than right back into the 6-yard box and literally right to their feet. It's happened several times, and we've got away with a few as well.
Yeah.
He didn't he? As soon as he did it, he knew.
He knew.
He was angry with himself. Yeah.
Because his head was down in his pants basically, and he was walking back towards the Trent end, and you could tell he didn't want to lift his head up to look at the crowd.
Off the ground and everything, mate. He was fuming with himself after that, but rightly so, because it could have potentially got. I mean, like I said, the players' heads did go down momentarily, but I saw them raise them, which I haven't seen them do this season. Directly after a goal, it's usually led to a bit of a capitulation or heads down, the game's gone. And I think yesterday was different. There's many reasons for it, and we'll go into the second half and what we think changed. But I
do want to get into the second half because there's so much in there that just left me with a smile on my face. Huh?
This is miserable. The first half. Let's get on to the second half.
Yeah, that's what. But we got to talk through everything objectively because this is what we do. So we've done that. Everyone take a sip of your happy clappy juice. Everyone in the crowd. Here we go. We're about to go into the second half. Cheers, everyone. Okay. Let's start where we need to start, right? Danilo. And I want to go with you first on Danilo. Because, honestly, we've all been pro Danilo. In fact, no, and scratch that. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to go to Dino. Yeah? Dino, I've got to give credit where credit's due. Yeah, you did the analysis for us back when we bought him, and everyone thought he was coming in as a CDM. You analyzed all his stats, all his gameplay, all everything, and you put a video out. It's out there. The receipts are out there. That this guy is a box-to-boxer. He's not a CDM and shouldn't be compared to like the position Freuler's playing, for example. And then the point I was making with you, and Ez, we were like, just play him, man. Just play him. Straight away, just play him from the start. Stop this whole bollocks about break him in. But Dino, I have to say you're right. He's a box-to-boxer, and what do I know? I said he can't finish for Toffee, but I never knew he was right-footed. I always thought he was left-footed. But overall, how good was he yesterday, Dino?
I admire him a lot for having that shot after he's missed a couple of real bad ones. So, I mean, fair play to him. He was frigging amazing yesterday, mate. He is such a talent, and we've got him on a 6.5-year contract. We need to stay in this division just to see him grow, because he'll be a top player. We're talking about Jono being a top player. Danilo, oh my God, he could be, a real world-class player. He's so good. He's got everything in his locker. He was amazing to see yesterday. Huh?
Apart from shooting, or are we adding that now?
No, we're adding that now. He's bang on the shooting now.
It is, and for me, the way he was winning the ball high up the pitch, I mean, that's what the second goal came from, was his tenacity, and it's not the first time he's done that. We've pointed it out in our in-depth analysis videos, where he was winning it high against, I think, who did we play before Liverpool? No, it was Liverpool, where he was winning it high up against Liverpool, creating shots, creating chances, etc. I mean, that was noticeable for me, Ant, wasn't it? It's that high press he's doing. Yeah. I just want to see more of it.
He's doing exactly what we thought he was capable of doing. I mean, you and I in particular were saying from day one, get him in that team, and he's a dynamic. He's dynamic, he's fit, he's got vision, he's great. He's fantastic. He's a fantastic, and he is box to box. I never thought of him as CDM myself. I always thought he was box to box, and that's exactly what he is, and it's exactly what we need. And I think he could be our saviour.
He complements Yates well, doesn't he?
I think he complements Mangala well.
Yeah, Mangala had a good game as well. Second half, had a fantastic game.
We're starting to see a bit of maybe that injury that he had, maybe it was affecting him. His first 2 games back. He kept coming off and everything. Maybe he's actually getting back to full fitness now, and we're seeing what we think is the real Mangala. So those two in midfield.
Ez, Freuler was a huge talking point before the match about him doing nothing, ghost, not conductor, etc. Did you, pardon the pun, did you notice he wasn't playing yesterday?
I forgot he wasn't playing. I was like, he's had a poor game, and then I realised he actually wasn't on the pitch. But we didn't miss him yesterday at all. I really agree with that. I think we were sat deep anyway.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, sorry, Southampton equalised. Sorry, that excites me.
Trey Adams as well, mate, of all people.
Oh my God, that's embarrassing. Poor John. Sorry, it's gone.
Yeah, I think yesterday, I forgot what we were talking about. What were we talking about now, man?
Freuler, the ghost. No wonder you forgot.
Freuler was, exactly.
Behind you.
I didn't miss him, and I did fear at one point he was going to bring him in on second half when he brought Chiarte on. I was fearing that, but I saw Chiarte was ready and stripped to come on anyway, and I think he played a really good game yesterday.
Really good.
Getting him back to fitness I think is really important.
He's like all legs, isn't he?
It's
like a big spider. He just wraps his legs around people. It's brilliant.
I mean, he got us forward yesterday, especially down that right-hand side. We missed Nico, and it's just a real shame for him because, touching on what you said earlier, Nico's been playing as well as he has done since he's been at the club. I know his confidence has definitely grown. I mean, his bravery to even get in that position. I felt obviously really bad once we knew how serious it was. Let's just hope he's not out for too long with it. But it actually helped us because we had to change our shape, man. We had to go 4-3-3.
100%.
I think that massively changed the game. So in a roundabout way, I'll let you just give a shout out to Keith. But roundabout way,
massive shout out to Keith. Keith says Freuler was immense on the bench, and Keith's his biggest fan, by the way. And Keith's what? And let me just say this. I just want to say also, I'm not on a downer on Freuler. I've always liked what he does. I still hold the position that he's played out of position. Oh, it's offside, man. It's offside. His toenails offside.
I was going to shout out Nico there. He's had his last 3 games have been really good. Really good, and I'm so sad that he was just getting into a run of form, and now he's going to not see the season out, is he now?
He's fractured his jaw or something, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's out for the season now, isn't he?
It's crazy.
It is sad because, as you say, he's had some tough times playing at right back, which is not his position. Finally gets played in his proper position, shows us what he can do, and then that happens. It is a big shame, and we
and I got to apologise to him. The way I saw it, I thought Jono had just studded him in the stomach and he was winded, and I'm there like, come on, man, get up. And then you suddenly see him getting stretchered off, and you're like, oh crap, this is serious, man. I didn't know he'd caught him so high, man. That's crazy. There was even like rumours he'd lost a tooth and everything, but it was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, Steve, when players aren't playing well, we all throw them out. We all call them out. But credit where credit's due, and it's the same with Worrell, Steve-O, this season. A lot of us have been critical of Worrell, but yesterday was like seeing the old Worrell back from the Championship. He played so well yesterday. He was so composed. So it comes and goes, mate. It's just,
I don't get that argument. Like, if someone plays crap, are you meant to say they played well?
Well, that's why you have a big squad,
isn't it? If someone played well, you meant to say they played crap. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's why you have a big squad, because if somebody's out of form, you can bring the next man up in, and it's the way it is.
Yeah, that was interesting. So just quickly back on Nico. You could see Jono was feeling sheepish and guilty about it, but there was no intent behind it. So I'm sure Nico's not going to hold anything against him. But it kind of, like, hypothetically speaking, and like, it had Cooper with a headache, didn't it? Because we've seen Nico Williams as a right back and it doesn't work. As a right wing back, he's a different player. And I still feel that that the shape when it changed to a 4-3-3 to me looked better, because I think Coyote just brought an element into the game. 5-1 now, bloody hell, man. And Spacebar's so confident he's actually got the stream on as well.
How's their goal difference?
Oh, Mike a couple of weeks ago.
Go on, Ant.
Everton Mike a couple of weeks ago on Beat the Drop was so high. He was so confident. Maybe not so much now.
Yeah, he's ringing in sick this week, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Like Chappie.
How annoying is it? Just so you guys know, we have like obviously a group where we organise everything in, and every week for the last 3 or 4 weeks, you've had Everton Mike saying "See you Monday," yeah. John, as in Bournemouth John, saying "See you Monday," yeah. Jace is like "See you today" if he could, pretty much every day, yeah. And like poor Ant, obviously I have to sit there on my hands, Mr. Neutral. Poor Ant's sitting there, just emoji back, emoji back. The problem is that we still got to play another game before Beat the Drop, which is crazy.
And I bet that makes you happy, doesn't it? Tricky Mickey said.
Huh?
Yeah.
You didn't get Dyche. You really don't like Dyche, do you?
Dyche, no win in 12.
Yeah. Let's have a little second about Dyche. Fucking
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I do believe that when everybody in the fucking fan base were going, we should have got Dyche, I was saying, Dyche is shit. We don't want Dyche. That's shit football. It will do fuck all. Oh, won the first game against Everton. Dyche is fantastic. It'll stop. And now look.
I was a Dyche in, by the way, so I'll take that on the chin.
I was not. I was not.
No, I was.
I was not.
So
However, I was impressed with how they played against Arsenal. Against Arsenal, I've never seen manager bounce like it. Who else in the chat? Wait, hold on. Honestly speaking, in the chat, who was Dyche in? Sai, you were definitely Dyche in. In the chat, just write in or out if you're Dyche in or out. Don't lie. We've got receipts. Yeah, don't make us go back and have a look at the streams.
Content.
Yeah, just out of interest. Sharky being a big man. Sharky being a big man, putting his hands up. Yeah. Let's see what the rest of them say as they come through. Anyway, let's get back to the.
All gone quiet. Oh, hold on.
And there we go. Oh, there's loads of outs. Owen has been solid Cooper in the whole time. He hasn't wavered one bit. Chuck was in. There's a lot of ins here, and quite a few outs. Okay. Kev, big man Kev, admitting to being in with Dyche.
Spacebar.
What does Spacebar say? He's definitely Dyche. Yeah, I'll bet you are, mate. 4-1 up, though. It's been disallowed. Anyway, let's get back to Forest. Dyche is freaking sounds like Kane from WWE. Anyway, the midfield dynamics change. We just talked about Nico, who I thought, again, for the record, I thought he was brilliant again yesterday. Yeah. But do you think, going forward, let's play devil's advocate for a second, had Nico not got injured, well, Coops have been going back to this 5-back formation, this kind of 3-4-3, if you like. Or would he have had to want to switch it now, back into a 4-3-3? Where do you think his head's at looking forward a bit into Brentford as well?
Well, yeah, going forward into Brentford, you'd think he'd probably want to stick with it, even if it means dropping Chiarte into that back three. I don't know, because I just feel like he's happy with that setup and he's wanted it for a while. But I also said that I didn't think with 2 fit centre-backs he'd be... Now we've dropped another one, and I did jokingly say in our WhatsApp group, if any of them get injured, it's probably more likely to be Niakate and Felipe, and that seems to be the case. Don't know about the extent of Niakate's injury, but he said hamstring. I don't know how serious it is.
Yeah,
but he hasn't got the players now. He's not got the players now to play back three, so I would anticipate that he's going to go back to the back two and have Ori as a right back, which I think we all agree he's a fantastic right back. And we didn't miss the defensive side of Nico Williams once Ori took the right hand side. I think he's fantastic as a right back anyway. So I think he's got to go back. He has to now. He hasn't got the central defenders, has he?
I don't know. I think he wants to stick. Gandino, sorry.
Sorry, if he would have played, or he would have played the whole season without injuries, I think he'd be right up there for Player of the Year. I mean, I called it out months ago about him being captain, and it was so nice to see him with the captain's armband.
Yeah, and he definitely played on that yesterday because he was the one trying to G the fans up as they usually try and do. But I think the fans were fantastic yesterday. By the way, I'll go back to that second half of.
The atmosphere
on the pitch was electric. I wasn't there for the Sheffield United semi-final, but it reminded me of that because, especially, and I think it happened around the time of Nico's injury, but the fans just didn't stop singing and really raised the roof on the stadium. But in terms of tactics going forward, I mean, the other option is that he drops Toffolo into a back three, and he could potentially do that. Toffolo looked good as well when he came on. He didn't change.
He's not got the height though, Ez, has he?
No, no, that's what lets him down. But then Lodgy's obviously hasn't got height down that side. I think we struggle down that side anyway. I personally wouldn't go to a back three. His hands should be slightly tied now. And I certainly wouldn't be looking at that formation against Southampton at home, which is not that far away either. So, I mean, I think it's got to be horses for courses, especially depending on what horses we've got left that are available. And I think on the weekend he'll probably go back to a back four out of necessity rather than want. I think it was up to him, and he had the players available. He stick to the back three, especially.
I think he'll stick with the back four. That's my personal opinion. I think.
He hasn't got a choice now, has he? Like I say, with Niakate.
No, I don't think he's got much choice.
And just elaborate on that. Do you think because of choice or because he wants to?
Through choice, I think he'd prefer a back four. We've had a back four for most of the season. I mean, we went to a back five because we had to. When Niakate got injured, I must be honest with you, I thought season over. When I saw him down on the floor, I thought that's it. We're done. But it just shows you, doesn't it? But I think he'll go. I think he will stick with the back four. If you know, there you go.
I'd like him to.
Sharky, we'll come back to that one. Sorry, Sharky, we'll come back to that one.
Yeah, we'll still come back to that one. There's a few I want to bring up as well. I just brought up. I want to talk about this. Steve-O, he makes a great point. Yeah, Dino, is this getting really concerning now? Is there a chance, Dino, that he has been rushed back from his? I use the term rushed back very loosely, Yeah, but Niakate. So. It's been the second time he's gone off in as many matches, pretty much, holding that hamstring again. Have we got cheese strings there now?
Maybe, like Michael Owen used to have regular injuries of the same injury, didn't he? And that really killed his game because he was a fast striker. I think we might have an injury-prone hamstring, prone central defender, and maybe he did bring him back a bit. Okay, it was kind of out of necessity. We kind of needed him a lot, and it showed. The games he has played, he's been amazing, incredible. But I do worry about the general hamstring injuries we get at Forest. We seem to have more than a fair share than any other club.
I do. Look, it's the thing with this Niakate one. It's weird. He's never been an injury-prone player throughout his career, and he suddenly turns up and he's injury-prone.
Well, is it because you say injury prone? It's one injury. It's not like he's getting different injuries.
It's recurred 3 times now.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And that is a massive concern because sometimes players can get these hamstring injuries and they never really recover from them. It is
and I just worry. I still hold the thing that we're doing too much work off the ball. So a lot of the times we're running around chasing things down. That is more knackering than having the ball. And our players are being worked more, in my opinion. I don't know if that's playing into the injury side of things or not. It's just my theory. Not many people agree with that. But maybe he's not used to that many runs. How the hell did you do that? Yes, please don't forget to hit the like button, guys and girls, if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Sorry, did anyone want to come in on that?
Niakate was on my side, and he seemed really comfortable. He wasn't. He's not the kind that's going to go running in and jumping in and running about for no reason. He seemed to be very comfortable, and then it just happened.
Was there a challenge, Anne? I didn't see the actual impact.
No, I think the ball was at the other end of the pitch actually, and he just went down.
Yeah, it was very innocuous. I didn't see him stretching for anything really. I didn't see a contact injury certainly, but so initially, it wasn't until the press conference afterwards that we hear about it's a hamstring injury. So you couldn't actually tell from the way he went off what the injury was. Usually,
again, though. Sorry. But again,
No. So usually you have a bit of an idea of what he's
Yeah.
going on off with. At one point he was holding his shoulder, so thinking, is it another shoulder type injury, a collarbone injury like Scott McKenna had? That's what it looked like. But yeah, you couldn't tell, and it didn't look like he'd had any contact with anyone. Go on.
I agree with what Lucky Robot's saying.
there's something a bit strange because this is the second game running where he's had this injury and then he's carried on for a little bit and then come off.
Yeah.
He didn't go straight off. Because I remember Joe Worrell was on the sideline ready and he could put his bib back on and sat back down again. And then a minute later, he got on. So even that's a little bit, how bad is it? It's just, if it's bad, normally a player knows straight away, you'll see him just go, I'm done with a hamstring.
I think what Lucky Robot's saying is spot on, though. I think he's been told, if you feel a tweak or a twinge or an itching or your stomach rumbles in the wrong way kind of thing and you think you're going to follow through, then tell us and get us off. Maybe they are treating him with kid gloves. And if that's the case, then fine. Maybe. But and you got the footage quite nicely on the vlog. If you guys haven't seen the vlog, you'll see that Ant got quite into Niokate, quite literally, on the vlog. It didn't look like he was holding his hamstring. That was the weird bit. And it looked like it was his left quad that was taped up. And that's kind of from what your footage you got there, Ant. So when they came out and said hamstring afterwards, I was like, oh, great. What do they mean by this?
Yeah, it's weird.
You don't really scare them.
Hamstring's weird because you can have a hamstring, but it can like make your back feel it's hurting or make another part of your body feel it's hurting. They're really strange things, hamstrings are. They're difficult to diagnose sometimes straight away.
Go on, Dino, go on. You going to jump in?
I was just going to say, what really scared everybody at the, probably everybody in the ground, obviously, but the Bridgeford end was when Felipe went down.
Yeah.
And we were like, God. And Worrell, did you see Worrell just pick him up? Like, man, I'm going to get up, we need you, sort of. Brilliant.
Yeah, he was brilliant again yesterday.
He landed on his wrist, I think.
Felipe was just magnificent. It's almost getting like silly now, isn't it? It's almost geting boring to acknowledge it, isn't it, as how good he is.
So I almost didn't notice him yesterday because he was so good.
That's the
That's for sure. You know what I mean? You kind of expect it from him now, and it's a great thing to say. But there's at least one player that we can 100% hang your hat on. But he had another fantastic game, and I joke with the guys that I think he should be made captain for the rest of the season. I wouldn't have any issues with that. I don't think a single player.
I would agree.
I think
I would agree.
He's definitely plays like a leader out there, and I certainly think it would help. But Ori did a fantastic job yesterday, no doubt.
Yeah, Dino, I know you said
it's strange that it's been passed around quite a bit, hasn't it? Because even when Worrell's on the pitch, it doesn't go to him. It's a bit of a weird one. I don't think we have a club captain as such anymore.
I've heard Cooper talk. Well, I've heard Cooper talking about Kyoto, saying how much he's in charge in the back room. Cooper's jokes about it, etc. So but the good thing is there's a few leaders stepping up. If you look now on the pitch, from where we were 6 months ago, you can now say that Felipe's definitely a leader. Kyoto's definitely a leader. Aurier is a leader. Yates leads by example when he's on there. Lenny, thank you so much for the 2 pounds. Appreciate it. So I'm starting to feel more confident in terms of leadership roles. But where I'm not confident is these bloody we must have 2 injuries a game thing. It's starting to get frustrating, isn't it? It really is. It really is.
Can I just have a quick word about... it's never bothered me who's got the armband. Because leaders are leaders. They don't need the armband. It's more of a ceremonial thing in a lot of respects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do agree. Okay, let's get into a couple of questions from the chat. I want to get the chat involved in here, and then we've got to talk about the goals and the penalties, etc.
If we don't talk about it, sorry, can I just mention this? If we don't talk about it, I want to mention how good I thought Awoniyi was.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about it.
It was great, and it was great. So good to see us playing with the front man.
Absolutely, and big thank you to Lucky Robot with the £2 because we won. Hell yeah! Thank you so much, Lucky Robot. I do appreciate it. Easter's Red is asking, it's a jaw fracture from what I've heard. I can't confirm it yet. All right, let's do some of the questions from the chat. Marcus is asking, how many points do you think we need to stay up? He says he thinks 2 more wins and a draw, so he's saying 7. And I'm not coming to you first. I'm going to give you time to think. I'm going to dump this one on Ez. Ez, we're on 30 points. By the way, can I say how nice it is to be out of the 20s? I will get to experience that phenomenon myself in 9 years' time when I, am no longer 21. But from a points tally point of view, it's so nice to finally get into the 30s, man. So, Ez, we're on 30 now. I put a tweet earlier saying that on average 33.8 points, I think it was, has been the average survival. Where
season,
guys, give us some numbers. They already are.
Yeah, I think.
Before you jump in, quick shout out to Phil with the 199. Cursive red letter spelling out vlog. Huh? What does that mean?
No idea.
Don't know what it means, Phil. Thank you so much. Is it one of those picture things? Go on, Ez, jump in. Where do you think points-wise we are?
Points-wise, probably another couple of wins.
Oh, is it? Sorry, Ez, it's a super sticker. Sorry. Sorry, thanks, Phil. Sorry, Ez, go on.
No, yeah, 36, 37 points sounds about right. And I think that would be more than enough, to be honest. That would be comfortably keep us up. I think it'll get us out of a final day battle to stay up. Where they'll come from, I'm still not 100% convinced, but we'll go on to what winnable games we think we've got left throughout the rest of the season. But yeah, a couple of wins, I think that would keep us safe. It's interesting now. I think with Bournemouth getting their win today against Southampton, I think they're safe. I think
they're gone, man.
I think it would have actually benefited us for Southampton to get the win out of that game.
I agree.
And keep them within arm's length purely because of a goal difference. But certainly, Everton's goal difference is getting a lot worse. I think we're minus 26 now. But at the end of the day, look, we've got to get out.
Are you saying Everton are gone now? Not Everton, sorry, Southampton. Southampton gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry, Mike. Yeah, unfortunately.
Sorry, Mike.
I think they're gone, and I think it's end of the day, we can't be worried about other people. We've got to get other teams. We've got to get our house in order. And if we show the fight we showed yesterday, especially that second half, we can do it. But I think we've nothing's really changed from the point of view that do we want to go down there? No, we won't go there yet. But I feel a little bit more hopeful. Yesterday gave me hope. And looking at that table gave me a bit more hope as well. And that's the difference. And that's what we've been asking for. And that's what we've not had at all for the best part of the last 3 months now. I'll bring that up.
So what was your point number?
My point number is 36. I think.
About 20 minutes ago.
Chat, I've just put it up for you guys. What do you think it is? 35 and below, 36, 37, or 38 plus? Visual Joker, thank you so much for the 199. He's saying 2 wins, Southampton and Brentford, or 3 draws plus 1 win. So he's saying 36 in effect. Yeah. And have you had a chance to do the numbers?
Yeah, well, I was going to say 35.
Really?
35 might be enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk us through it. Talk us through why.
But our goal difference could screw us up if we're not careful.
That's a cracking point.
There could be, 2 of us on 35, in which case we'd go. So 36, I think, for sure. So that's 2 wins. Now,
and if you're saying 35, sorry to interrupt you, I just want to kind of challenge you back a little. You've put everyone from 14th up safe. So West Ham are on 34, then you got Leeds and Forest on 30, and then Leicester, Everton 29, 28 respectively. Would you say that's the fight now? So you're putting Bournemouth safe at 36?
Yeah, I'm assuming that Southampton are down. So I would say it's Leicester, us, Leeds and Everton.
What about West Ham? They're on 34.
They'll be fine.
I think
Yeah. I think it's between us.
Got a game in hand as well.
Leeds and Everton.
Yeah, but their game in hand is Man City. Don't just count that as it. Yeah. Just very quickly, Crazy Cat Lady, thank you so much for the 199. Sheba Doug with a big. It's another one of the stickies. I don't know. He gives it to us. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Dina, where are you on this? And it's interesting to see. Just a quick update on the poll. Get your votes in. Most people are saying 36 is safety with 43% of the vote. And then it's pretty close between 35 and under and 37. And only 6% think it'll be as high as 38. Where are you on the Richter scale here, Dino?
36 on the money for me. originally had it lower a few games back, but 36, I think now will do it.
Do you think more than one team will finish on 36?
No, I don't, because if they do, we're in trouble because we've got shite goal difference.
That's where I was leading with that. But 36, that means you're saying Bournemouth are right on the money safe now.
Yeah, I think you can see Bournemouth out now. It's now down to West Ham, who've got a game in hand, Leeds, Forest, Leicester, Everton. Southampton, we can say, is gone. Everton on tonight's performance are going to probably struggle, aren't they? They're on a bad run. Hopefully we hit that good run that everybody else hit. This is our good run. And they include Liverpool in that. You know, I know we lost 3-2, but I thought we played with a lot of fight against Liverpool. And we scored 2 goals. That's 5 goals in 2 games. That's unheard of for us.
That's true.
I tell you who's going to have the biggest say in who goes down? Bournemouth, because they play just about everybody, don't they?
Yeah.
It's just a shame Chelsea ain't got more games left. It's just a shame there's not more games left, because Chelsea would probably go down with the rate they're plummeting.
Well, the problem with Bournemouth, and when they thought they were on the beach last week, they got slapped. And now they had to pull out a result against Southampton. Do they go back to being on the beach? I don't like trusting in Bournemouth, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, on 26 points. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're going to consider themselves safe at the moment, but I do get your point.
But they're showing some fight. I mean, that's 6 wins in the last 10, 11 games. You know, they've got the majority of the wins in this last run-in, and they've played. You're right, and that's the only danger, that they go on the beach and they think that they're safe. But I think they're deservedly where they are, and we've wrote them off. We've wrote them off countless times this season, and I think we all agreed that there was one team that we all wanted to see go down at some point in the season. We mentioned that, but they fought their way out of it with a rookie manager, as I'll say again. I've said a few times, you know, and he's done it for them. So they're deservedly where they are. But let's just hope they don't take their foot off the gas and make it easy for those that are up against them, especially in the 6 pointers coming up. Dino, did you want to jump in?
It wouldn't surprise me if the season finishes in the positions that they are now. Bottom 4 being Forest, Leicester, Everton, Southampton in that order. Wouldn't surprise me if it finishes like that.
That'd be tight. All right, guys, I want to move this on. We've got a lot to cover off still. There's a couple of questions here. I'm going to pair them together from Visual Joker and from Mark. Visual Joker says, do you guys think Brennan should start? He plays poor for most of the game. And then Mark says, here's a question for you all. If, in capital letters, Jono goes, would it be more beneficial for the team or not? So kind of similar in style. Dino, you want to kick us off with that one?
I'd hate to see Jono go because he's one of our own and he's a successful one of our own. But the kid will have ambitions, won't they? That might not ever be fulfilled with playing for Forest for the rest of his career. You've only got to look at the likes of Harry Kane for that at Tottenham. So you wouldn't blame him if he did move, and if we got good money for him and he went on to further his career with a top 4 club immediately, I'm not saying we'll never be a top 4 club, but immediately, then I think actually it might help with the balance of the squad, because we do rely heavily on his pace and pumping it out onto the right-hand side. Certainly the first half of the season, that was our only kind of tactic. And I don't know, I just like the Brighton mentality of the way they buy players, and just like finding the likes of Matoma and all the others. There's some really good nuggets of players in there, and I'd like it to be a bit more balanced. You know, you look at Leeds, Nonto and Harrison. Do you know what I mean? They're really good wingers, aren't they? And you just think there's got to be other players out there other than Jono, but you couldn't hold him back. You couldn't hold him back for his career if he wanted to progress. He's given us a lot of his life.
Not so. They're not asking so much if we're going to hold him back. I think they're asking about the dynamics of him in the team. Look, this is a conversation that not a lot of channels will talk about, but we're willing to. I think that's what you're getting at, isn't it, Mark and Visual? Does he sometimes? Let me try and put words in their mouth. You know how people say that Haaland was going to cost Man City their style because of the way he played. I think they're saying, does Jono cost a start? Because you can carry him for 80 minutes and he'll explode for 10 minutes and save the game or win the game or something like that. I think that's the way they're getting at. That's what they're getting at. In chat, what do you lot think about this debate?
I'd like to see another Jono on the left-hand side as well. So we've got 2 of them rather than 1 of them.
But there's so much
Steve,
Brighton
plan takes years, and I don't think we're anywhere near that level yet. There's been too much upheaval in the backroom staff this year. I think we're a few years off that, my friend.
Yeah,
I've got a slightly different take on Jono. It wouldn't bother me if we sold him.
Why?
Because look, I like Jono. He's a great player. I love him. He's one of our own, etc., etc. Take out he's one of our own. That means nothing, right? Take that out of the equation. I see a lot of times when Jono does nothing during the game. Literally nothing during the game. Now, people will get back to me. Look how many goals he scored. Absolutely right. I'm not saying I want us to sell him. What I am saying is it wouldn't break my heart if we got good money for him tomorrow. Because there are a lot of good wingers out there, trust me. It wouldn't break my heart.
And I concur with that, because I saw him lose the ball. I can't remember who it was. I saw him, it might have been Liverpool. I saw him lose the ball outside the box and he lost it. It was his fault. And he just kind of stopped and let the player go and let somebody else, that's not my job anymore. And I thought, that's weird.
Yeah, but that's
you lose the ball, you chase it back.
Sometimes I don't mind that if it's a striker who's an attacking player who you can forgive when they go forward. Look at Ronaldo again, taking it to
3 4 away from the guy and he just left him. So
I know. Okay, that's one isolated incident. Listen,
he's lazy defending, and a lot of the modern game, you rely, certainly when you've got your backs against the wall, you rely on your wingers to get back and support the fullbacks. You do. It's part of the modern game.
I just love him too much, man. I get what you guys are right. You guys are right. Yeah.
And to your point about maybe relying on him too much, that can well be the case. Everything goes out to Jono.
Yeah.
And it becomes predictable and easy to defend against.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
That can be another
point I was going to make.
That's not Jono's fault, by the way.
That's our game plan.
Goodness.
There's been a massive over-reliance on him, and it makes us very predictable in the way we want to play. But he needs to be more. For me, he needs to be more adaptable. Yesterday, I saw him at times down the middle and getting his chances that way. And if he needs to move in or move across, this is what I mean. We're so rigid in the way we play that very rarely we do reinvert our wingers. I still want to see more attacking play down those wings. I love it to see Dennis down one side and Jono down the others and have him switch over.
Same.
We don't do that. We're so predictable in the way we attack, and that's the over-reliance on Jono that I think the guys are getting at. And I think it would probably help us out to have more options there, and maybe it does hinder us a little bit. Oh, thanks.
Sharky's off to bed. Thanks so much for the £2. Got to slap the butler at 8 a.m. Don't slap him too hard, Sharky. Don't slap him too hard.
This is a great comment from Tricky Mickey. Yeah, no shit. We're not a selling club. We're a buying club.
Basically, isn't it? Yeah.
Literally buy and hoard them in the garage. We still got Arthur.
Yes, we do. Cafu's still there as well in the background. Look, my take on Jono is this. He's not a striker. So what you're saying about him, Ez, about yesterday, playing down the middle, yeah? We're not playing that square peg round hole scenario for me in there. I feel those chances that he got yesterday when he was through, if he was coming in from the angle on the right-hand side, it would have been better rather than him going straight down the middle. It's a bit like snooker. Sometimes when you got a straight shot, it's harder to put in the pocket than it is when you got an angled one. I feel that's the same case with Jono. Really bad analogy, but you get what I'm saying. Would I be sad if he went? I would be really sad because I feel him and Spence half carried us last season down that right-hand side, to get us up. I feel that we've watched a kid progress as well from, when he was into Lincoln, into the Championship, into the Premier League. Yeah. I think the only way he goes is if we go down. I do. They would have to sell him to reimburse some of the money back. Yeah, to then push for the promotion next season.
Who do you think could buy him?
I think Brentford would want him. Yeah. That style of team. I think Spurs would look at him.
Brighton.
Nobody club.
I think Spurs would.
I don't think Brighton would pay the money for him. They can get
the thing is. The problem Jono would have is he couldn't go to a top 6 team because he'd be part of a squad.
We're not criticising Jono. Listen to what we're saying.
Calm down.
Did I just say a word to criticise him?
It's not Jono's fault. This is nothing against Jono.
Yeah.
Listen to what we're saying.
What did I just say to criticise Jono? I'm literally sitting here defending Jono. Oh, fucking hell. Anyway,
I
my
mean, one of them
point.
said
Hold
he's
on,
shit.
hold on,
I mean,
hold
one
on,
of
hold
them
on.
said he can't do it. He's no good. It's like, no, we haven't.
Yeah, I think it was aimed at me criticising him for not chasing back when he lost the ball. So I don't think it was an overall criticism. But maybe I should have put it this way, which is more accurate. His game would be better if he got that in his game. But like somebody said in the chat, he's still young.
Riyad Mahrez is a similar type of player to Jono. You watch him chase back and tackle.
Who did you say? Sorry, Ant and Carl?
Riyad Mahrez.
Mahrez, yeah. But look, my point on Jono is I don't mind an attacker not going back if they're going to be productive in the attacking third, which I think he is. And that's why I let Dennis off the hook a lot as well, because I know he can produce, yeah. People don't give Dennis the same slack they give Jono. I give them both the same slack. Yeah, that they can both produce. Jono has got the goals. He is our top goal scorer. You have to give him slack. Go back to the idiot Fergie's era. When they had Ronaldo was one of the laziest players they had, but the rest of the players knew that they had to work harder. AGB, I did. They had to work harder to cover for his shortcomings going back, but they knew he would return it going forward. That's my stance on Jono. It's not the same level, I get that, yeah, but it's the same philosophy for me. You're rolling your head a bit, Ant.
Yeah, because you can't mention Ronaldo in the same breath. Yes.
I'm saying I'm not doing a like for like. I'm talking about like you have to allow for certain elements with an attacker.
So he's saying that if you have possibly the best player in the history of football in your side, then you can afford to work around him. That's true. John, ain't that.
I'm not saying he is, but I am saying he's got our most goals. Yeah, he is the most likely to score.
None of us said we wanted him to go. We're just saying that, or I said, it wouldn't break my heart if he went because there are other wingers out there, and if he wanted to go, and I'd like to see where he went and what he could do. And I asked you the question, what team would have him? You said Brentford. Brentford are a little shitty nobody club.
I said Brentford would have. You didn't let me finish that. I said Brentford would have him and he would start.
I want him to stay. I want him to stay as long as he wants to stay. Yeah. That's what it's down to. If he wants to move, then thanks for your service. You've been great, and
I just gotta say, Mark and Visual. What have you started? This debate, yeah. Freaking anyway, let's move on from it and let's move on to another question because we've got to talk about 1 year as well. Mark's raised an interesting question. Shout out to Mark. He says, when was the last time that 3 teams coming up from the championship all stayed up in the first season? Could that happen? It's down to us now. Pressure's on us.
Yeah, it could potentially happen, absolutely. And I can't remember that last time that's happened.
I don't think it ever has.
In the order that came up as well.
Well, we'll still finish ahead of Boring Mouth. Oh wait, Acid knows everything. He's saying 2015. Who were the 3 teams then, Acid? Was that the year of Ipswich? No, that was way further back than that, wasn't it? Okay, so he does know. So why are you asking us, Mark, if you knew the answer? Bloody hell, Mark. QPR, Norwich and Swansea only happened twice. First one
like this, I'll get him.
Okay, Mark's smarter than us, so we're going to move on to the next question.
Yeah, Owen's saying it's happened a few times. He saw it somewhere earlier. So yeah, well, I'll have a look at that, but it doesn't happen too often, clearly, because we can't remember the last time it did. It would be amazing.
I wasn't born back then, mate.
The other 2, I think, are obviously Fulham are safe, and I think Bournemouth, after today's result, are safe as well. So it is down to us to make that happen. And who's coming up anyway? It's Burnley and Sheffield United are definitely up, aren't they? And then it's obviously
Mr. Happy Clapper. That's that whole thing there is wrong. Mr. Happy Clapper saying call me a downer.
That's Stony, mate. That's Stony for you.
I just don't. Stony, I don't get that.
Dino, let's move on and talk about Awoniyi. Right, Awoniyi, 0 goals since his return. But by God, has he been brilliant, man, and entertaining to say the least.
I just love his bumbling, runs, and he's just a handful. It reminds me of Davis last year, where
Davis wasn't that freaking bumbly, man.
No, it wasn't that bumbly. But maybe Davis would have been a good acquisition then. But it's just a handful. And when you play with a false 9, it gives the back four so much freedom, doesn't it? to step out and start the attacks. But when you've got a Wanya there, he's giant of a man, you know, and he had a big hand in both goals, didn't he? 2 of the goals. Huge. And people forget that. And okay, he's not scored, but he's not played much this season. He's still getting up to, and he probably won't get up to speed before the end of the season because he's been out, hasn't he? A long time. And match fitness is a real weird thing if anybody's ever played. If you're not match fit, you just play awful. Once you're match fit, you just think you can take on the world. So,
do you see any of that? Do you see any of that? Awoniyi Asombalonga 2.0?
Not for me.
I think Asombalonga's better, to be honest. Still, I loved him.
I like him. I like him. I like Awoniyi. I've got a real soft spot for him. Puts a lot of effort in. Like I say, his control needs a bit of work.
You know what, Dino? There was a bit last night. When was it? Was it yesterday? Whenever it was. Lodgy put the ball up the line, and Taiwo came across. He just bounced off his shin and went out.
Straight out of play, And
I
he still got a round of applause, didn't he? Just to get him there.
I'd have him as the entertainment officer, or I'd have him doing dribbling training constantly. Or I wouldn't have him doing any other training other than dribbling, and then I'd have him shooting. That's it.
What I want to see around him is when he goes to close, I need to see other players. First off, that's what we were missing massively because he was going to close them down, goalkeeper and all, but there's nobody going with him. So if you close them down on your own, you're easy to get bypassed because his work rate is fantastic, really is, and he does run around, and that's kind of why he hasn't made it to 90 minutes the last couple of games. But I think Cooper's trying to use him sparingly because he is such a impact player for us in terms of what he does, how he keeps their defensive line occupied, but he needs more support around him, and there's been times where he's isolated and he's running around and trying to close the play down and there's no one going with him. But the second half that improved, and I think that was through our shape. But I'd love to see him get through a 90 minutes, and I'd like to see the chance for him. For me yesterday, actually, he was replaced by Ayew, wasn't he? And I would have liked to have kind of seen Dennis come on, but end of the day we got the results, so it doesn't really matter. But I would have liked to see Dennis actually come on yesterday and played up front just to give us that pace. But we saw the tactic once he brought Ayew on. Every goal kick went to him on the left hand side, try and win a flick on. A couple of times he managed to do it, so he's actually better in the air than you'd probably give him credit for. Ayew is, but
one second, just before we go on.
Match day pass video.
Oh no, Dino's head's getting bigger than ants right now, right? He was all over BT Sports yesterday. I rewatched the match today as well.
Don't fletch one commentating.
But Dino, the amount of times I saw the camera glisten off your head when I rewatched the match, today, it was crazy. And now he's on the match day pass. My God, man! And your head is gonna need to shrink a little compared to Dino's. Dino's just taking us back. You ain't been on Sky or BT yet, and what's going on?
I have against West Ham. I was on Sky. I remember I put a big video up about it.
It's normally quite much time on an Antiques Roadshow that Ant's on.
I can't remember. Look, just jumping back, joking aside, let's jump back onto Taiwo. For me, his touches yesterday, although he looks... What's the word I'm looking for? It's not unpretty, but scrubs, isn't it?
He's got his legs on the wrong way round.
Yeah, basically his boots are tied together kind of thing. But his awareness for the Danilo assist was brilliant. It is just brilliant. The way he laid off, the pace of the pass and everything was fantastic. And the way, if you look, what was better than that was his layoff to Lodi for the first goal. Because he looked around, there was no one there. So what did he do? He backed up into the defender, kind of opened up the angle, used the strength, and then laid it off to Lodi. And then Lodi did his magic by going for the double deflection.
It reminds me of when he plays. I know this guy had a lot of skill, but Peter Crouch just looked awkward, didn't he? The guy had quite a lot of skill, but he just looked awkward. And it's the same with Heskey. He also looked awkward to me.
No, he was awkward, mate.
But I want he looks the same to me. But he had a great game yesterday, I thought. I really did.
I don't know. It reminds me of someone.
We had a really good win yesterday, and I think we've moved on to other things, and we should be really celebrating this win because it was a superb win against a very good side.
All right, top yourselves up, boys. They're happy, clappy juice. That's top hot. Okay, I'm going to move
We
the
don't get to
agenda.
celebrate a lot, so we may as well milk it while we're there.
I'm going to move the agenda to my next opening statement. I believe Forest will not lose another match this season. How's that for a statement?
You're such a
flip back,
flip-flopper,
guys. You
mate.
said it.
You are
I'm a
such a flip-flopper.
full-on flip-flopper. It's what Ant said, because I want to chuck this one at Ant, right? Because I said this to you guys earlier in Discord. God, I must have just had my dinner and blood must have been in the stomach, what have you. I still believe it now, right? I still believe it now. And it's because of what Ant said as well. And you kind of mentioned you looked at the fixtures and you were looking at ours and theirs. I'm grouping everyone else together. And you kind of just made the point that our fixtures don't look as bad as some of the rest do.
No, I've said this for a long time. People kept saying this. There's no guaranteed games. I mean, Forest at home to Brighton. I can bet you what you like that all our opponents down at the bottom assume that would be a Brighton win. You know, so,
including all our home opponents as well.
Probably, yeah. So, there's no game that's certain. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I don't worry too much about the run-ins, because you just don't know what's going to happen. It's at the end of the season, all sorts of weird results happen. And looking at the opponents today, their fixtures, I thought, well, actually they've got fucking hard fixtures as well. So it's pot looking at.
Well, what about you, Ez? What do you think? Are we going to lose another game this season?
I won't go as far as saying we'll stay unbeaten until the end of the season.
Why not? Why not?
Because the past 12 games have told me that. We haven't had a run of games, mate. We haven't won 2 games in a row for how long? So,
but look at the second half yesterday, mate.
But look at So this is what yesterday gave me. It gave me a bit of hope. It hasn't massively changed my focus. We still need to carry on playing like that. And we still need to do what we can at home against teams around us, but it gave me hope that we can do it, and we have got the players, and I'll go with what Ant said for the majority of the season. What?
Owen and Dino, full face, right up close.
Oh, you're watching it.
Can we not distract everyone? We can watch the Dave House later. Of course, it goes without saying, Dino, you had your FFTV hoodie on, yes?
Yeah, does it? I don't care about my face. Did it show the hoodie well?
Too close on your face, mate.
They blurred it out. They're not going to give us the free exposure, are they? Anyway, watch it later. Can you concentrate? 10 more minutes, Ant.
You're doing this.
Am I doing that? Oh, God, how embarrassing.
You know the bit that cracks me up? Sorry to divert again, right? I was watching when they scored their offside corner goal. Yeah. The angle they had was a bit of a long shot from the main stand, right? And I was looking for Dino, and all I could see was this. I was like, yes, Dino, man, that's the commitment. Last minute of the game and he's still filming. Tony's saying in full view, we love it. They didn't blur us out, Tony. That's good. Maybe they don't hate us that much. All right, sorry. Back to what we were talking about. We've
got enough. Yesterday gave me hope, but we've got the players, we've got the ability. I'm gonna have to be honest though, but we've picked up 2 more injuries potentially, and that's what's bothering me. But we're losing more players. We're losing so many players at this rate. We won't have a squad left to play the last half a dozen games or last 5 games that we've got. So that's the thing that's worrying me the most. The rate up what we're losing our players. But
I don't like what I'm hearing from you guys. So I'm not gonna lie, mate. You're sounding negative to me.
Yeah, well.
No, the players are dropping like flies.
Yeah. Give you a bit of
that could be a problem. You're losing 2 players a game, which seems to be the thing at the minute.
Yeah, but there's only 5 games left. We can lose 10 more.
We're all getting some back as well, though, aren't we?
Hopefully.
Who's close now? Kyoto was close. Who's back? And then Aurier. Outside of that, we don't know anything about Yates. Literally nothing about him.
But
then,
radio silence on the 8 seed.
All right, let me ask you this question. Let's get Dino with this one. outside of Yates, yeah, and obviously Niakate now who's injured, who's the key one do you think that we're missing in terms of would get straight into the starting team? And guys, I'm going to chuck this at you guys as well. Yeah, name 3 players from the injury list that are must stays in your team. You can't say Yates and Niakate. We'll grant that to each other. But Dino, what would you go with? I'm going to ask you two as well. So Anne, I can see you thinking. That's good because it's coming your way in a sec.
Bolly for the defensive cover.
For who?
Anyone that's getting injured at the minute.
Would you be
because
starting?
We're down to bare bones if he wants to play 5.
No, what I'm saying, Dino, I've granted Niakate and Yates are back in the team. Yeah. Who are you bringing in off the bench list that you'd have on?
Off the bench or off the injury list?
Injury list.
Scarpa. I want to see Scarpa play.
Good shout.
You know, he's somebody that can change a game, but if he's going to be, I don't know if he's injured. He's supposed to have his calf injury. I don't know where he's got that, whether he's got a skateboard or what, I don't know, or it's just bullshit. But I want to see Scarpa. I was excited about him. What?
For those listening on the podcast, Dean Griffiths says put wood on.
Sid Murph, Hendo as well. But I don't know if he'll be with us next year if we stay up. I think. Don't know. He's got a feeling I don't know. It's got a weird feeling about him.
Ez, who would you be bringing?
I'd love to see Yatesy back.
I've already given you Yates. I'm giving you Niakate, man. Listen to the rules here.
No, you can't make up your own rules, man.
You became white noise to be honest in the end, so we just all switched off.
Hendo, Bolly, and Yatesy, they're my 3.
Okay, and
play my own rules.
I'd like to see Scarpa back in contention anyway. That's about it, really. Bolly is already on his way back, evidently, so I'd like to see him back.
Okay, so Anne, you kind of fell into my trap. If Scarpa is the only one you can come up with, if the other two can only come up with, say, Hendo, Yates, Niakate, yeah? Why are we so worried about the squad when all the main players that we'd all kind of agree on are available? So again, I'm just trying to make things positive.
I think it's because Niakate and Yates are the ones that we're worried about. Other than that, and maybe Bolly as well. Other than that, who are we short of?
Scarpa.
Yeah, Scarpa.
Scarpa, yeah, absolutely. I will bang his drum until the season ends.
The thing is, Scarpa obviously doesn't fit into his play style, does he? It doesn't fit into his tactics. I mean, you heard MGW say yesterday, we followed the boss's tactics to the letter and it worked really, really well. And Scarpa's not that kind of player, is he? I mean, Johnson's got Scarpa's position nailed on. Scarpa's second position for me would be number 10, and MGW's got that nailed on. So I don't know. I don't know whether Scarpa's just going to disappear at the end of the season, and that's that. Yeah, we never get to see him, which I'd be pissed about if that's the case.
Yeah.
But I'd like him available. That's why I said available, so that if Jono got injured, or if we needed to if Jono was playing poorly, or if he needed to come off, we've got Scarpa to come on. So that's why I said I'd like Scarpa to be available. I'm not saying that Cooper would put him into the team, because I don't necnecessarily think he would.
Yeah, you want him in contention. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, I want to move
Scarpa there. So could just mention, mentioning MGW there, and I was actually delighted they kept him in the team when he hit bad form, because he's played through it, hasn't he? And he's got through it, and he played really well again yesterday.
I think he's really brilliant at home, Dino, and not great away, if you ask me personally, on MG Dub.
Right, okay, fair enough.
That would be my view.
That could be the playing style, or I mean, if we're playing ultra low block, that ain't going to suit MG.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. Okay, I want to talk about Cooper and where everyone is with Cooper. Just quickly before we jump into Cooper. One, please don't forget to hit the like if you haven't already. Oh, God. Where are you guys? Hello. Let's just quickly... Well, why am I so big? Okay, no.
Yeah, too much food.
Oh, pressing stuff, guys. Okay, hold on. Sorry. It was me pressing. I was talking to myself. I just want to quickly share this with everyone. Our friends, you guys are going to love this, at Football Prizes have put together for you, check this for a competition, a signed, framed Yatesy shirt, number 22, with 2 extra Forest shirts as Insta-win prizes. A full signed team shirt by all the guys and a signed Aurier shirt as Insta-wins. However, already 66 tickets have sold. There is still 133 left. If you want that little beauty there, that Yatesy one, signed, sealed, and delivered, or you want a chance to get an insta-win on the signed Forest shirt or the Aurier shirt, then get your tickets now. The Jono shirt that they did for last week sold out literally in 3 days. This is going to be no different. I'm going to chuck the link in the chat for you guys now. So get on it and make sure you grab your tickets. And as always, thank you to Football Prizes, who are putting together these great deals that are so relevant to Forest. With our help, we're talking to them about what we think you guys will like, etc. And they're delivering. And we asked them to get a Jono and a Yatesy one. And big shout out to Bill and the guys at Football Prizes. That's exactly what they've delivered. So we'll get the link up for you guys, and don't forget as well, we've gone and got you an 83% offer on Surfshark discount. That's until the end of the month plus 3 free months. So make sure if you're using VPN, maybe you want to get onto US Netflix because there's more shows on that than what we get in the UK. Make sure you use that. And also if you got IPTV and you're watching the football, then you're going to need to protect yourself and many other perks. So the 8C one is pinned in the chat. Go grab your... Yeah, well, sorry, I tried to hide it. So yeah, make sure, and Surfshark helps with that as well. Anyway, let's bring the conversation back, and I want to talk about the manager, his performance, and where everyone is. Let's go around the table. Who wants to start? What did we think on Cooper's performance yesterday? Dino, you're. I'm interested, actually, out of the four of us, I'm interested to find out where Dino is, because he's been knocking back that happy clappy juice and he's even sprayed it on his face in the vlog, which is interesting. I want to know where your head's at right now, Dino.
My head is at the players did incredibly well yesterday, even though they were shackled by negative tactics at home. That's where I'm at. And I'm afraid unless Cooper changes that play style, which is a very low block and ultra low possession, I don't like that play style for any manager. For Andrew. For any, tell your butler to show you. He can give you a live performance. It doesn't matter whether his name's Cooper or not Cooper. I don't give a crap. Me personally, I just don't like that style of football that we play. I don't. And the fact that it played into our hands yesterday, and we went to game plan and it worked. It ain't going to work over a 38-game season, I'm afraid, if we've got any ambition. So for me, we need to have more possession, more chances. Although there were quite a lot of chances yesterday from very little possession. So I do take somebody's like Ant's point, what is possession means nothing. It's what you do with it. So I get that, but Dino,
can you just address this from Owen? Because Owen, I think I saw you saying it on the player rating yesterday, but obviously I'm sure you can respect that comments that come through on the player ratings are crazy. Owen's been adamant that he's changed the tactics at half time.
Why?
Would anyone agree with that? I personally don't. I think I
think he changed it when it goes a goal down.
Go on, Dino.
I think he changed it when we go a goal down.
Do you think, Owen, what was the change you're talking about that he did at half time? Because I saw the tactical change when Nico got injured and we went 4-3-3, and I thought it worked fantastically.
Can I just say one more thing on this, and I'll shut up, right? We were set up in the first half yesterday to not lose. Not to win, to not lose. And when they scored, we had to change tactics. And then we found our feet. They did get tired. You could see them getting leggy in like the 60th, 70th minute. And we started to dominate them. And when the crowd were fantastic yesterday. And the players were all, fist bumping each other and hugging, and everything they won, they were just celebrating almost. And that took them over the line. And yes, Cooper must have said something at half time to change it because they came out a different side. But why not go into that in the first half? So that was what drives me mad. So therefore, I would like a more progressive manager in that presses more and attacks more. But that's a personal opinion. And I know the fan base is split because I've seen it in our comments. Cooper in, Cooper out. Cooper in, Cooper out. Mostly Cooper in.
Yeah,
But,
it's definitely
you know,
mostly Cooper in, definitely.
Yeah, and I
Which is
totally
fine.
respect that, and I understand that, but that's just not me.
Ez, I want to ask you about what Will, big shout out to Will's put here, because I heard this as well. I don't know if you saw Cooper's interview. He's saying that Cooper alluded to the playing style in the post-match interview, saying he wants to play progressive football, but he's just trying to keep us up by any means necessary. Basically, what he said, to elaborate on that, was that he doesn't like to play this style of football, and this style of football is not him. How do you dissect that?
I don't kind of agree with that. I don't agree. I understand what he's trying to say, but he's not done anything that makes me think that that's not his style of play. I think that is his style of play, and I think that's his only plan of action at the moment. And after half time, like I said, the goal going in before half time changed everything. Second half, we did come out, but they sat back a bit. They weren't as attacking going forward in the first 5-10 minutes of the second half, and then the injury happened, which meant the change of formation from our point of view, and that's where we really got our foothold in the game, and certainly in the second half. So I don't think there was a massive change at halftime. Personally, I think it was a goal before halftime that changed everything, and we didn't play necessarily any differently. Rather they put up the foot off the gas a little bit. From my point of view, I think they would have been happy with a point, to be honest. I don't think they were going for the win, and certainly not in the second half. So I don't think tactically anything really changed at halftime. I just think we had that confidence going in because we got the goal just before the halftime break, and that was a game changer for me. Not necessarily anything that Cooper said at halftime, because I don't think he's getting the right messages across anyway, and I don't think that's improved. From my point of view, listen, look, nothing's changed. I said while he's in position, you know, I'll back him and I'll support him. But what I won't do is just clap along for the sake of clapping along. And I'll be honest, mate, when everyone's singing the Cooper songs, I'm not joining in as much as I used to before, because I've kind of like lost not hope in him, but seeing how we've been playing, that's enough for me to say that Cooper hasn't got it right on far too many occasions. And yeah, we got the result yesterday, but I kind of, and this is going to sound bad, I think we got it in spite of Cooper, not because of Cooper. I think the players did deserve the credit yesterday.
Yeah, I don't agree. I mean, I said at the start, and Owen, just to correct you, at the start of this, I clearly said that Cooper's tactics played out. You can't just broad brush like an opinion here and an opinion there. You can't say you guys said that, because we didn't. And even if we did, we will always give the opposite perspective as well. But I clearly remember saying at the start, he went to halftime, he wanted 0-0. He wanted to tire him out by the 70th minute. He did. You know, the forced change, in my opinion, it was a forced change into 4-3-3, but whatever way you look at it, it worked. That's it.
Can I just make a comment on this Cooper in, Cooper out? It's not black and white. There's nuance involved in it, because from what I'm seeing, the people who are happy to keep Cooper in are happy to keep Cooper in at all costs, even if we go down. They're not worried about us going down as long as we keep Cooper in, and that's not the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at, let's do everything we can to stay up, and if it means Cooper goes and gets somebody else in and that does the job, I don't give a shit. But I'm not Cooper in at all costs, and that seems to be the case. But most of the people who are happy for us to go down with Cooper, and they were resigned to the fact. They're all coming out now and saying that like they've got some sort of moral victory. No, you haven't, because you were happy to see us go down with Cooper. So
I don't get that.
8 minutes, 16 seconds will get you there.
I don't get that, Ez. This is the thing I don't get. One, there's two things I don't get in this Cooper in, Cooper out debate, right? One, why do people care so much if someone has the opposite opinion to them? If I'm Cooper out and let's say Dino's Cooper in, that's Dino's opinion to be Cooper in and my opinion to be Cooper out. Does this make me Hitler?
Can I tell you why? It's because there's too much narrative. Football fans are quite emotional people about their own team. And there's too much narrative on a personal level with managers and players as well. People, some people find it difficult to be objective when they're looking at the performance of a particular manager or player.
Yeah.
They're emotionally invested in that player or that manager. It can be either. I mean, there's players who you can't say a word against. Even if they're playing shit, you can't say a word against. Managers the same. You can't say a word against.
Yeah.
Steve Cooper brought us up after 23 years. Can't say a word against it. No matter what, we lost every game 10-0 this season. That was the opinion of certain people because it's emotional.
Well, thank
They've
you.
got an emotional involvement with that person rather than the club.
Big love, guys, from Will. Keep up. Thank you so much for the £10. You absolute legend. And you're hitting on some. Look, these are the taboo subjects, but we'll address them. I think you are spot on, and it's like there's certain players like Brian Roy. When I was a kid, I wouldn't hear a bad word said against him. You know, he was my favorite all-time player, etc. You were probably like that with Collymore. Yeah, they obviously both would have had some stinkers. Yeah. Probably wouldn't have been called out. You know, he's exactly there, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't care if you're Cooper in or Cooper out. What does puzzle me is why don't you want to allow the person to have the opposite view?
I've been quite consistent that we should keep him in, especially now because it's 5-6 games to go. There's no point in changing, in my opinion. But if I thought to myself, well, let's take last night out of it. We've not won in 11 games. We've lost a lot of games on the trot. The performances have been dreadful. So in my opinion, I think we need to change the manager. A lot of these emotionally invested people will call me a hater. And look what he did for us. No, I'm looking at it from an objective point of view.
Yeah, keyword, not subjective. Yeah,
I totally agree with that, 100%. It actually it really offends me and upsets me when I'm not allowed to be Cooper out.
People will say,
well, I'm not allowed because I'm a troll. I'm splitting the fan base, and I've got an equal right to say you saying Cooper in is also ruining the club. But I don't ever knock anybody that's saying Cooper in. I've never knocked anybody in this chat that said Cooper in. I do respect that, and I understand why. It's just not for me. And I should be entitled in this day and age to have my own opinion. And we still have different opinions between us all the time. And we even get people like Mark here, who's quite clearly said he's sitting on the fence. He's obviously been swaying from one to the other. And yeah, I'd love. Listen, if Cooper changed, nothing against Cooper, if Cooper changed his tactics to be a bit more progressive and a bit more pressing, I'd be Cooper in all the way.
Yeah.
But he's not. So therefore, it's nothing against Cooper. I don't like our tactics. End of. And I should be entitled to that opinion without anybody calling me stupid names, because I don't call everybody that's Cooper in stupid names. I respect it. I understand.
Yeah. Massive shout out to Anthony for the $15. I like the look of the team yesterday and put a small B on Forest for a win. Good man. I get a lot of enjoyment from you nutters, so you can share in my winnings. That's way too kind of you, man. Keep on betting against the odds. We're gonna do this. We're gonna smash it. Yeah, I just want to kind of finish up on it. I've never seen. I don't see this in other fan bases. That's something else I will say. Yeah, it's like there are fan bases, like you look at Spurs. There was Conte in, Conte out, got banned from a group for just this reason. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. You have to have, in any walk of life, in any debate, you have to have both sides of the argument present to have a debate. Otherwise, you end up sounding like Fox News. You know what I'm saying? So voice their opinions. I love the fact that there's the likes of Owen in the chat, loads of them. You know, you can see them coming through that are Cooper in, and I love that there are Cooper outs, and I love that they're on the fence. What does it show you? It shows you've got a community where people are thinking. And then what you'll find is they'll debate it amongst themselves. Now, every now and again, you'll get someone saying, no, you can't be like this. And I love that Mark's in, out, shake it all about. Because you can feel that emotion, can't you? We lose our Cooper out, we win Cooper in. There's going to be fans like that as well. Why do people care so much about if someone isn't holding the narrative? And who's dictated the narrative? That's my question.
It's like players as well. Some people love Freuler. Some people don't think he should put another Forest shirt on.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same thing. So why should the manager have this like protection around him, like his bubble protection forever and ever and ever?
It's getting cultish, isn't it? That's my objection to it. But he can't do any wrong. Even when he's doing wrong, he can't do any wrong, and that's cultish. That is. Fact of the matter is, Cooper in or Cooper out, I'm not calling somebody out for being Cooper in, but as soon as something goes in our favour in terms of a team, then the people who want Cooper out are called out. How does that work? You know, so
that's such a good point.
You got to have your balance end of the day. So stick to what you
that's
believe.
A huge point, Ez. That's a huge point. You know what's funny?
The bugbear for me.
You know what's funny about that point you just made, Ez? It almost sometimes comes across that those that are like Cooper FC, if you like, the cult ones, when Forest win, they're more interested in calling the people who are Cooper out before they are celebrating the win, if that makes sense. Which is hilarious. Which is absolutely hilarious.
Where are the Cooper out brigade now? I've seen today.
I see a lot of slander against our channel. You know, they trash Forest and we're fucking Forest fans. We're fucking Forest fans. We love our fucking club. We only want what's best for our club. So it just but we don't respond. We don't react because we don't want to sink to their level. You know, we'll just keep our own.
We'll just keep giving our views, mate. If they want to hate watch. Keep those views coming. Sharky, I thought you were going to sleep, mate. I thought you were going to sleep.
Butler's calling you.
That Butler needs a bashing in the morning.
Now this is a good shout. I think it would be ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
Because we're just finding some form. And I'm counting Liverpool in as form. And I know we lost 3-2, but we scored 2 goals and played okay. So yeah, it would be ridiculous. I think we got to get to the end of the summer, and Mr. Marinakis, who is the boss at the end of the day, he's put all the money up for the club. He's got to decide whether Steve Cooper is the man for the job or not.
We've seen far better managers.
All we can have his opinions. I don't think we're ever going to get 100% booing at the ground or cheering Cooper's name. I think there's always going to be fractions.
I don't think you'll ever get booing at the ground. I don't think you got the freedom to do it. Honestly, I don't think you got the freedom to do it.
Not only that, you shouldn't be booing at the ground.
And not at the ground.
You're there to support your team, so you shouldn't.
I don't boo at the ground. I'm just saying.
You know what? I've never booed at a match, yeah? No. But if someone wants to boo, as far as I'm concerned, that's their choice. They paid their money, etc. They're a fan, yeah? My stance on it is, when you're at the ground, support the team and then save your opinions for when the whistle goes, or before the whistle goes. Either side of those, yeah? When the white line's crossed.
And there are plenty of platforms now where you can express your...
Yeah, and you know what?
Exactly.
I've seen a few keyboard warriors in the past few days, hiding behind the keyboards, but at least we come out on video and we give you our opinions, whether you agree with them or not. We're out, and like we've said before, it's fairly easy to start up a channel. Go and start your own channel. If you want to put your words out there and get your own thoughts out there, do it.
Yeah, YouTube is free to run. Absolutely.
You don't agree with us all the time. You don't agree with me any of the time, man.
Yeah, it is getting a bit repetitive, so let's move on. Let's move on and talk about a bit of happy clappy juice. Thank you very much. Brentford. I've said to you guys, Forest aren't going to lose again this season. Ant, what's the score going to be after tomorrow? Or tomorrow, whenever it is.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Do you see us getting anything out of that game, man?
Yeah. We could.
So you do know.
No, you asked for a score. I think we could. Yeah. We seem to be hitting a bit of, I would say, confidence as much as anything. And but again, depends on the tactics, depends on the team. But yeah, we can get something out of that. Brentford, they beat Chelsea 2-0 away yesterday. So that doesn't bode well for us, but there again, Chelsea are awful. But yeah, we can get something at Brentford. In fact, I would go for a draw. If I was forced into it, I'd go for a draw. And I'd be happy with a draw, to be honest.
Forest West Bay, becoming a member. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it. So you're going for a draw. You're sitting on the fence. The old Ant is back. It's good to see you fit in.
I'm not sitting on the fence. That's what I think that it could be. And I'd be happy with a draw.
You're such a bell end sometimes, Wolverine. There's 3 outcomes to a game. You either win, lose, or draw. Yeah. Drawing's not sitting on the fence. Drawing's saying he thinks it'll be a draw. Honestly, he's such a wind-up merchant.
I'm glad you think... I like your statement of you're bell end sometimes, which means the majority of times you think I'm not. I mean, you're in a minority.
Bell end all the rest of the time.
I was going to go to Dean next, but I'm slightly offended, so I'm going to go to Ez. Right?
You don't get offended. You got thicker skin than a rhino.
Ez.
Well, Brentford, I mean, they got another good result against a very poor Chelsea team. I don't know what the thinking was to bring bloody Lampard in until the end of the season.
Which we were playing Chelsea next.
Yeah, and we got Chelsea coming up as well. So Brentford, maybe they're on the beach slightly. I don't know. I don't know what they're playing for really, but it's an opportunity that it's nothing to do with where they are. Like I said, it's down to what we do, and we've hit a little bit of run form where we're actually scoring goals, and that gives me some hope going into that game. But I'd take a point away from home. Absolutely, you know, they're not a team to just to roll over that easily, to be honest. And I think if we can go in with the confidence that we've shown in the last couple of games, which has got us goals and has got us basically, again, going back to that word hope, giving us a bit of hope. And that's what's got to be going through the players' minds, that actually now we have got a chance, and maybe at some point. But the players have got to be feeling the pressure as well as the fans are. And the fans are obviously voicing it in their way, as we have done here, but the players don't really get the chance to voice that. I've seen a lot more interaction on Twitter with the fan base from some of our players who haven't been really that vocal or haven't been posting so much throughout the season. But I think they realise now more than ever that if they're going to achieve anything, it's going to be doing it together with a fan base backing them. And we can't knock the away fans, especially this season. They've been fantastic. Let's just hope for another one on Saturday, because Brentford might be there for the taking. So we've got to go in with confidence and with hope in the way we've been playing recently, and that kind of, for me, gives me the hope that we'll come away with something out of that game. But a point, I'll take that right now, mate, if you give it me.
Just to put it into perspective, in the last 7 games, they beat Chelsea last night. Prior to that, they'd drawn 3 and lost 3 of the previous 6. So they're not in brilliant form.
Just very quickly, you're way too generous. My ears just literally popped. Thank you so much for Will gifting 5 memberships.
Fantastic.
Unreal how generous you guys are. So Midas 20, make sure you thank the legend that is Will. Extal V, make sure you thank the legend that is Will. Sonny Reed, make sure you thank Will. Patrick, make sure you thank Will. And Martin T, sorry, not Martin T, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, I got all the 5. That was Martin T's comment. So thank you so much, Will. I did want to address your comment, Martin T. You're saying like we're ignoring it. Bro, watch all our videos, watch all our live streams. We've gone through it all plenty of times. We've given you plenty of names. I think even Owen was saying they want a magic wand wave. We don't. We've had plenty of suggestions. But we've discussed that. I just want to address, because we don't hide from anything here. Okay, Dino, jump to you on your thoughts.
Draw, but we could sneak a win. Yeah, draw I'd be delighted with.
Fence sitter. I think there's a couple of points that everyone's forgetting. Yeah, we got cheated by Brentford at the City grounds. I think we all remember that penalty. Remember that they apologised for. Yep. We owe them one. Even though I'll be honest, when I was there, I thought it was a penalty, but I'll happily change my tune because they apologised for it. I think it depends what happens with Bet365 up front. If Felipe can contain him, then we're good. It's all on Felipe.
I'll be his number next year on his back. 365.
As long as he's contained, I'm not worried about the rest of their team. Now, the other thing, we'll cover it in tomorrow's video where we go for the preview. The other thing that people forget about Brentford is they are a counter-attacking team. And it's going to feel alien to them when we give them possession.
So much,
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It would be like 2 standing off, and there'd be a massive gap in the middle.
The problem is they're a really good counter-attacking team, right? Yeah. So giving them the ball is going to be interesting to see what they do with it, because I don't know what they would do with it, right? But I really respect their manager. I think he's a great manager, and he'll probably have a couple of ideas there. I personally, in my route to survival, this has to be a draw for me. I think we can get a draw. I'm going to join Ant on the fence.
We're all on the fence on this one.
We're all on the fence.
We're all on the fence, which probably means we're going to lose. That's what it means. Yeah.
Listen,
can I just point out as well that Leicester are playing Everton on Saturday?
Correct. I'm getting sick of every team around us playing each other at the moment. It's doing.
I mean, that's massive. They're 2 teams below us, so that is massive.
We need a draw on that, don't we?
We need a draw on that. We really do.
Worst case scenario, and Everton win.
Listen, we need to concentrate on ourselves. Doesn't matter what they get if we don't.
That's true.
No, it makes
that's true.
Correct.
You say that, Ed, but it doesn't matter what they are. What happens.
No, not if we don't pick any points up. It doesn't matter what they do.
Lost every game now, we'd be all right. So it doesn't matter what they do.
No, so if we don't get another point and they're all playing each other, we're going to go down anyway.
I know what you're saying.
So it doesn't matter what we do.
All right, it's getting too late for this argument. It's getting too late for this argument, right? I gotta say, I've had a cracking time. I don't feel it's been as positive as I expected it to be, but I do feel that we talked about everything.
We're not going to get too high when it goes well.
You know why? We sandwiched the poor first half, and then we ended up with Cooper. We sandwiched the good stuff in the middle. That's the problem.
There's a lot of good stuff in the middle. But hey, hopefully you guys understand. We wanted to cover all the topics, not just come out here and be like, we're going to win the league. We're going to finish fourth.
Season.
Who says? Who would ever think we would finish fourth? I mean, seriously, come on. But yeah, we just want to cover it as always. So yeah, it does. I agree with Owen, man. At least me and Owen are going to agree today. I don't feel like it's been a party, man. But we'll find something to party over. Don't you guys worry. All right, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. This will be out on the podcast as well, the Grumpy Old Reds podcast. So if you want to hear it back again, I don't know why you would.
Why would you want to do that?
But you can. It'll be out on Spotify, Apple. What's it called on Apple, Ant? Is it just Apple?
Apple podcast.
Apple.
And if you do listen to it, can you give us a rating and a review, please?
Yes, please.
A good one, Ant.
Look at everybody saying it's a bit like a funeral.
5-star review, a 5-star rating and a review would be great because people aren't doing it, and that's the only way that podcast will be. Will get out there.
Absolutely. So from us, it's a massive thank you. It's an even bigger thank you to Sharky with the £2. He's off to bed. As Ant said, if you listen to this on the podcast, please do leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like button. Get your comments in down below. We read them all and then we argue about them all. We'll see you tomorrow for the match preview. We're straight into Brentford mode tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.